Hi guys and welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it so very much. Welcome, my name is Aiden. I'm so happy that you are here for a 4 for 4. I have been working through some palettes for work and I wore each one of these for 4 days, which is actually kind of convenient because I'm teaching Monday through Thursday and then Friday is office hours, so I don't actually sit in front of students. So I can play with my makeup a little bit more on Fridays. In an effort to be a little bit more organized, to know what palette that I was planning to kind of wear, I did put stickers on all of them and I put dates for the week that I was going to wear them. I did this because, if you haven't known, I have not been in my house. I just barely moved back into the house this past week. So I've been keeping everything in my office and trying to like scroll it away so that it's not too messy, but also so that I have a central location and my stuff is clean, because everything in the house has to be cleaned individually, and that's enough. I don't need to bring in anything else that's going to have to be cleaned eventually. So I did date all of my palettes. You probably are going to see stickers. This was also helpful because I could put little notes on them, whether I want to keep or declutter them. So you're going to see that as we go. The 4 palettes that I did this go around is the Pur Trolls palette, and then I had the Tartelette In Bloom palette, from Tarte. That one is a lot hard to say. And then I had 2 from the Academy of Color, and this is the peach one and the mulberry one. All right, we're going to start with Tartelette In Bloom, and this one is pretty standard. It's a slightly cool tone, I would say, in nature. I would say it's definitely a cool tone. There's a few pretty shimmers in there, but it's a lot of mattes. So you have 3 shimmers and then the other 9 are mattes. I'm going to swatch all of these for you and then we'll kind of talk about them. Okay, so there are all of the shadows swatched. They do swatch really well. They go onto the eye pretty well. I will say, like, you know how you sometimes get a more scratchy matte? This one and this one, so those are the shades Smoke Show and Leader. Those are both a little bit scratchy in terms of the shade. They're not patchy by any means though. As you can see, like, there's just a lot of very neutral, cooler tone shades. The shimmers are pretty. My issues with this palette are there's not enough shimmers. I feel like all of the looks that I did were very similar because I basically used these two, and then these were all pretty similar for crease, and then I would use one of these on the eye as the shimmer, and then like a dark in the corner. So I didn't feel like there was some variety, but I was very bored with the looks that I created. I just wasn't super happy with it. I'm not a big cool tone fan either, so that's part of it. Like, just those cool tones don't do it for me for the most part. There's some pretty shades. The shimmers are my favorite. I also like the scent of it. It has like a light vanilla-ish scent to it, but it's not one that I want to keep. So this one is going to be decluttered. I think, somebody who likes neutral shadows or cool tone shadows will really like this, and I'd rather have it go to a good home instead of me keeping it and never using it. Okay, next up is the Academy of Colors eyeshadow palette, and this is their peach scented one. I got this one at Kohl's. I know they don't carry this anymore, but you might be able to find it somewhere else. It was $10.99, so not a bad price for a palette at all. I think these are supposed to be kind of inspired by the Kylie palettes back in the day. I don't know. They could be or they could not. That is what it looks like. You do have 9 colors in there. They're pretty colors. I do like that there is a variety. This is kind of the opposite problem of the Tartelette In Bloom though. There are 6 shimmers and 3 mattes, so it's harder to get a full look with this one. You got to really use those shimmers in the crease and stuff, which traditionally, like, I don't do, and I know most people don't do that. So there are some pretty colors. I have already swatched it, yay. So this is what it looks like. There are some pretty colors. I will say this matte here I double swatched, and this matte here I triple swatched. So that's this one and this one. They really need building up. They're very, very light, and you need to use a lot of them to really get some pigmentation there. This one though, as you can see, like it swatched much better. That was just a single swatch. There are some really pretty shimmers in there. I really like these two. So the two shimmers that I really like is this one that's Bermuda and this one that is Champagne. This one, it has kind of like, it looks almost kind of green on camera at times, but it's definitely more of a goldy shade. That's that first one there. Overall, I don't think this is a bad palette. I think it's a fairly decent palette. Much better than like traditional drugstore. Like, I like this palette and I have used it in the past, but I think it's just time to pass it along, seeing if somebody else wants it, because while I like it, I just don't see myself reaching for it all that much. And really, it's just a couple of shades in here that I am really liking. And I have so many palettes, like a ridiculous number of palettes, that I feel like I need to, like, I just need to get rid of some of them. So this one, unfortunately, I think is a good one. It's just not for me. The third palette is another Academy of Colors palette. This one also came from Kohl's and was $10.99. This is the Mulberry palette, which I believe, like I said before, you've probably already seen my little stickers. I think it was supposed to be like the Kylie Burgundy palette. I think I really love the colors in here. There are some very beautiful colors. It's very pinky, mauve-y type of shades, cool tone. So you have some really pretty shades in here. Once again, you only have 3 mattes and the rest are shimmers. And I don't really need like super dark shimmers. Like these two, I could have used as mattes instead, I feel like. So there is that about it. This is what they all look like. They are, like I said, they're very pretty. There's some very pretty shades in there. I really like this first shimmer. It's very similar to the ones we just looked at though, right? You have a couple pretty mattes in here. They're pretty light still. They almost look like satins on my skin right here. So once again, I think this is a very pretty palette. I think it works fairly well. I just don't think it's a palette that I need to keep because I have other palettes that are similar that I reach for more often, or that I think about reaching for more often than this one. I haven't been reaching for palettes very much lately just because I've been trying to do a constant 444 so that I can try out my palettes and get rid of some because I just have too many right now. This is what happens when you just collect and collect and collect, and then you're like, why do I have this many? So yes, I am going to be decluttering this one too. It has nothing to do with quality though. I think it is very pretty. I actually like the quality. I feel like they last, you know, fairly well on the eyes. It's just not one that really revs me up. All right, fourth palette is the Pur Trolls palette. This was a super love for me. I was really excited when I got this, and I wore it so much that I bought the Pur My Little Pony palette. So thought I would revisit it, go through this, because that's what I'm doing with my palettes right now. This is what it looks like. It's a little all over the place. As you can see, like there's some crazy, there we go, some crazy colors that are very light. You have some crazy darks. You just have like a lot going on in here, right? This is what it looks like all swatched. There is so much going on. You got that bright pink in there. You have a couple like purples and blues and a lot of neutrals in there. You have a couple really light shades, one that's more of a matte and one that's more of a shimmer, like a gray shimmer. So much going on in here. When I was using this, I was like, well, I'm just going to use this for work because it's mostly neutral, looking at everything, right? I struggled with this one, finding neutral looks, finding looks that I was interested in wearing. And I think that at one point this did feel really fun and new, and maybe I just wore like this quad here with the hot pink over and over again, and that's why I really enjoyed it. But I was not a fan this time when I was wearing it. Like the shadows themselves were okay. There's quite a bit of fallout with this particular formula. The mattes are really soft. They kind of remind me of the Lorac Pro formula. They're very soft. They're very powdery. Like they go everywhere fallout wise. The shimmers are pretty. Like, there's some really nice shimmers in there. You can see a couple of them catch the light really well. But I just struggled finding looks, feeling excited or pretty in the looks. Like, I love a really pretty shimmer or like a little bit, you know, just something. I wear makeup for me, but I want to feel pretty. Like, I want to put it on and be like, oh, that's so pretty. It boosts my mood, right? This did not boost my mood. Kind of like the Tartelette In Bloom did not boost my mood either. I felt really blah about all of the looks that I came up with, and I wasn't super happy. So this one is being decluttered too. I can't believe I'm decluttering all 4 of my palettes this to go round. But let's see how I ranked them, shall we? Before I rank them, I would like to know how you would rank them. Also, let me know if you have tried any of these palettes, what your thoughts are on the palettes themselves. And then don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done either of those, because those really do help out YouTubers a lot. Okay, this is really hard because I don't feel like any of these are necessarily bad palettes, but I don't feel like but I am decluttering them at the same time. So I don't think they're bad palettes. I think that if you were looking at any of these, if you really feel like the color story speaks to you, I think they would be good for what they are. But unless you're in love with the color story, I would pass over them. I'm going to put in 4th place the Pur Trolls palette, which I'm shocked about. This was one that I was like so sure when I went into this that I was going to love and I was going to keep, and this was going to be like a favorite. I struggled finding coherent looks. I struggled, like, it's just all over the place. And I know that's like the opposite problem that I had with other palettes, but I wanted it a little bit more cohesive because it just didn't feel super cohesive to me. And I struggled with looks, although I did use this blue one day, and that was like my favorite look. And I did go to school with a little blue in the outer corner. But yeah, this is my least favorite. All right, in 3rd place, I'm going to put the Peach Scented Academia Colors palette because I feel like the mattes in here you had to build up a little bit more. So that's the only reason why the Mulberry one is going to edge it out a little bit, because I feel like this one just takes a little bit more work to create a look, because you do need to build up those shades a little bit. So this one is in 3rd place, which means I kind of gave it away. 2nd place is the Mulberry palette. I think it's pretty. I don't love the color story quite as much as maybe the peach, but these shadows I feel like they work a little bit better. They're a little bit more pigmented, so that's why it's in 2nd place, which means that in 1st place is the Tartelette In Bloom. This one is a very pretty palette, and I should have known when I should not have purchased any of these Tartelette palettes, because I have Tartelette In Bloom, I have Tartelette Toasted. That's going to be in an upcoming 444, and I don't see that one going very well either. It's so boring. They're cool tones. I don't really like cool tones. I'm not, like, I do use neutrals, but I want a lot of shimmers, and this just doesn't provide it. So yeah, I think it's a good palette, and I can see why a lot of people have enjoyed it over the years. It's just, it's not a palette that I will reach or wear. So it is being decluttered, and even though it's number 1, that might have been an anticlimactic countdown. Let me know down below. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.